Pascal is going like that in the second quarter. We were looking to try to slow him down, and how hard is it to try to get out of that hole?
Well, I mean, he got it going. A lot of it was, mid-range paint. Don't necessarily want to overreact to that. He's a really good player. Second half we try to minimize the switching with certain guys. But bottom line, 12-point first quarter, it puts you in a hole for us offensively. And then second quarter they got going, and, scored a 40-point quarter. So game gets away from you. 39 points in the second half. From those two quarters alone, there's the game. And we didn't play our best ball. Early on, I thought we generated some pretty good looks, didn't go in, and tends to have a snowball effect. I think it gets demoralizing for our guys at times, and it starts to detract a little bit from the other end of the floor.
Just getting tough shots, or what would you like to do more defensively during that 40 points?
Well, some of it is. I mean, some of it, once again, is, we weren't connected. We weren't communicating. There were some, issues as far as, guys in the right spot or being where we're supposed to be and talking through some of the coverage. So we didn't help ourselves in that second quarter. But, first quarter, I think we got some decent looks. And I give their defense credit. They speed you up. They're very physical and handsy. We knew that going in. One or two of those open threes go in, maybe it's a different picture.
I'll ask one more. And just what did you say at halftime? What was the message at halftime?
No, there's no panic. I mean, you got one choice. you either you keep fighting, try to dig yourself out, or we quit. And I like the fact that we just tried to, keep fighting, dig ourselves out of that hole. Obviously, it's not easy to do. But, overall effort, second half, I felt picked up. It's one of those things. You got to try to minimize those stretches on both sides of the ball where things aren't going well. When it starts to get away from you, that's how things can snowball.
All right, we'll go to Chase.
Hey, Wes. Denny Avdia had his best scoring game of the season last game and then scoreless tonight. I'm just wondering, as a young player, what do you think he needs to do to just find more consistency?
I mean, it's just that. I mean, and I think that's just the normal maturation of a young player. Not very few are going to come into their second year and play great every night, and I think he's still a little fatigued from, being under the weather, but I give him credit. He gutted it out, try to play. He's going to try and play the right way, play hard, play physical. Sometimes it doesn't go your way. So I'm not overreacting or concerned in any way with that. I just think it's some of the growing pains we all have to go through.
And 2 straight games where you guys went down big, 25 or more points. I don't know if you saw common problems in both games, but just how do you think you guys need to react to both of these losses?
Well, I mean, I think minimizing the empty possessions. It wasn't necessarily the live ball turnovers, but sometimes after makes, where we have to do a better job of being organized. And I think it's finding the balance between paint attacks, the quick shots. I think there's time and place for both. Once those shots don't start to fall, I think we start pressing a little bit, and you're looking for that one big shot, that one big play. Once again that play doesn't go, it just further it puts more pressure on that very next possession. So try to stay away from those situations when we can.
And last one from me, just the sample size has grown a little bit for Bradley Beal. Obviously, we've seen in terms of his 3-point shooting. We've seen, throughout his career the last few years, we know what he can do. What do you think he needs to do to kind of get back to being that guy?
Well, it's been difficult because, teams are putting a lot of pressure on him. They're doubling him. They're making him give the ball up. I mean, that's probably a smart ploy. So when he generates open shots for other people, we got to be able to knock those down. I think once we do, that will help loosen up their pressure.
Josh.
Wes, you mentioned earlier that there were occasions of defensive miscommunication, guys in their wrong spots, but relative to last game, did you see improvement in that regard or something similar?
No, there was improvement. There were fewer of those issues. And I'm not going to take anything away from Siakam. He's a heck of a player. He got a game going. He really did, and puts a lot of pressure on, any one individual. We got to do a better job of kind of shrinking the floor, showing the crowd. But, overall, there were fewer of those coverage mistakes we talked about last game.
Spencer attempted 11 shots tonight from the field. Were you pleased with his volume on that and his aggressiveness?
Yeah, for the most part. I think he's going to attack and get downhill. He's probably best in pick and roll. It's tough. Their length, their activity, their size, ability to protect the rim makes it very difficult. But no, I'm more than happy that that he's going to stay aggressive. I think he has to from the start of the game.
How much did Gaff's early foul trouble and your necessity of having to sub him out disrupt some of the rhythm of playing groups and just disrupt some of what maybe some of the pressure on the rim that your team likes to create?
Yeah, it's part of it, and I think we've seen it before. It's very difficult. He's trying to defend and play the right way. You pick up those early ones, it does put you a little bit behind the 8 ball. There's nothing you can do about it. So we try to minimize, the impact of that, but it does change the dimension for the other 4 on the floor.
My last question for me, I know you have a young group, but it's also a veteran group. Do you and your assistant coaches find yourselves reminding guys to have faith in the process if you feel like you're generating good shots, that once again, those shots eventually will fall?
You have to. It's human nature. I don't care how many years you play in the league or you've been around. When things aren't going well, it's going to test you. Where are you mentally? Can you handle that? Do you have the fortitude to say, you know what, we're going to stick with it? Put a little bit more effort into some of the things we're doing instead of just, abandoning everything and, just saying, all right, this isn't working. If it's not working, yeah, we got to change some things. That's part of it. But, let's make sure we're trying to do it and do it right.
Neil.
Hey, Coach. So along those lines, where are you assessing the team is right now in trying to, get past this, slump area right now? Do you think that, they're getting through it, or do you see signs of, waiver?
That's a good question. It's probably a question for them. It's a challenge when things don't go well, and who we are, what we're about, time will tell. We've normally, in an early season, we've bounced back from these stretches. This has kind of been the longest duration where things have been kind of tenuous for us. So, it's certainly a test, and we have no choice. We have to pull together. We got to dig ourselves out. We got to find a way.
And just to confirm with Spencer, he's not dealing with any other kind of injury or ailment besides just being, less than a year away from major surgery. Is that correct?
As far as I know, yes.
Thanks, Coach.
Josh, you're good, right? Okay. All right, Coach. I think that's it for you. Appreciate
It took so long for him to start clicking in that first quarter. Just 12 months, seems like nothing was going back.
Shots just wasn't falling. And I feel like that we let that dictate our defense. We wasn't really playing hard, and they was making everything, pretty much everything they threw up at the time. Yeah, like I said, we wasn't making shot, and then just lack of effort on the other end.
What started clicking so well for you in that second half?
Just taking my shots, being comfortable, taking what the defense is giving me, just playing within the game, the flow of the game. I just wanted to go out tonight and just play basketball. Last game I had a lot going on with the refs, and that I know that takes me out of my game, and that hurts my team. So tonight I try to just really focus on myself and get the job done.
Hope it was clear Nick Nurse threw everything in the kitchen sink at Brad. They were just not going to let him go. When that happens, what type of responsibility do you and the others kind of take of trying to help him out?
Just try to make it easier for him. We know they're going to trap him. They're going to double team him coming off the screens. We know that. We know it's coming. So just trying to be in position where he can see us out of the traps, so he won't be forcing anything or forcing turnovers, or setting a good screen, to get him open. to get him going, at the big. And I feel like we got to do that a little more. I don't think we do it enough. I feel like he's out there working his ass off, trying to score, keep us in the game. But it's they like you said, they throwing everything at him.
Clearly, people will look at your stat line and be like, offensively, you're really good. Defensively, you're just as good. Look like, you're dealing with something small back, just trying to just vet it out. Like, what's that like when your body's not giving you, what you need?
Like you said, you just got to try to gut it out. You got to find that energy from somewhere, and try to finish the game. Just do your job. Do what you can do out there. Just give it all you got. Until you can't give it no more. I just feel like we talk about effort so much. It's a big part of how we play the game.
Chase.
Hey man, when you guys have 2 losses in a row like this, where you go down by 25 plus points in both of them, what's the proper response? Like, what do you guys need to do to make sure this doesn't continue?
We got to have a stronger first quarter and a first half. Some games we come out, and it's lazy mentality. Some games we come out, where we own it. But we got to figure out, how can we put together a great first half? I won't say first quarter, let's say first half. And we all got to just pull for each other. I think that's kind of slipping a little bit, but we still got to trust each other, have that confidence within each other, and just play basketball, play for each other, no matter what it is. We just play for each other.
And you're one of only 4 guys on this team that play in every game, and your defense has been there. And lately, you've been scoring pretty consistently. Just how have you been able to kind of just be reliable for this team? Is the team itself has kind of had so many moving parts?
Like I said earlier, just finding my shots within the flow of the offense, not trying to force anything. And just take my shots when I'm open. I try to continue to do that, consistently. Just play within the flow of the game, and not force anything. I know my defense is going to be there. That's what I lean on. Every night. Just to get my offensive game going. But just the flow of the game. And I'm just trying to be consistent with that.
Josh.
KCP, at a time like this when the team as a whole isn't shooting the way it knows it's capable of shooting, how tough is it to keep the faith that you guys are generating the kinds of shots you want to generate and feeling like they're going to fall eventually?
I mean, eventually they're going to fall. Shooters shoot. I've been in so many shooting slumps. I can't count them. But it's not going to stop me from, believing in myself, and having that confidence to shoot the ball when I'm open, or, making the right play. And I feel like we all got to, just believe. The next shot is going to go in. If the next shot is going to keep shooting, it's going to eventually go in. And once it go in, you might catch fire. You never know. Just continue to have that confidence when you're shooting the ball. It's going to come back around.
How are you feeling right now about the quality of the team's kind of communication and attention to detail on defense compared to where it was, say, a week ago or 2 weeks ago?
It could be better. We started off the season, communication was there. We had slippage here and there, but, we made the adjustment and we fixed it. I feel like that has taken a dive. We got to find a way to get it back to where we were when we started the season. Just pulling for each other. No one should have an agenda but winning. Everybody should want to win. No matter how we get the dub, we get the dub. And we should trust the next person next to us, you know, have that confidence that he gonna make the right play, I'm gonna make the right play. No matter who it is, we're gonna make the right play. And we gotta have that trust and believe in each other.
Do you feel like that's become any sort of an issue in the last week or so, or games?
Yeah, what was that?
Do you feel like that's become any sort of issue or deficiency in the last week or so?
Man, our communication has slipped a little bit, but that's fixable. You know, we got to just get back in the film, practice, be ready to, go over what we need to go over and fix it. You know, we gotta be ready. We got a game tomorrow, and we got to be ready. The game plan. We got to know that what all we need to do, to get the dub. And we got to apply it to the game. Sometimes I think that's where we have our mistake. We might go over it and shoot around or practice whatever, but some games we don't apply it. But we got to continue to just do that and just be better at it.
Thank you.
Last question to Neil.
Hey, KCP, how would you evaluate the mood and the locker room's, belief right now, like you're talking about? Is it tapering down if so, who's the person that steps up and says something?
Man, we all have a voice in the locker room, but that's locker room talk. I can't talk about that. I won't talk about it. But we at the end of the day, we all brothers. We're gonna have arguments. We're gonna talk amongst each other. We're gonna talk to each other. We're gonna see we're gonna give each other criticism. We're gonna just like I said earlier, we're just gonna be that unit that we need to be. We're not gonna fall apart. Just because one person's attitude is here and there. No, what I'm saying? We all in this together. We lose together, we win together, and my team believe that. In the locker room, we all have a voice. Everybody says what they, their opinion, what they think, this and that, and then we take it, and we apply it. So the locker room is good. We're gonna have the ups and downs, but we good.
Thanks, KCP. Safe travels.
Thank you.
I appreciate you, KCP.